All right, hello. We're going to talk about today by talking about a topic called slope, and today we're going to work on finding slope by just plotting some points. And all a slope is the steepness of a line, how fast a line either goes up to the right or down to the right, or ascends and descends. Okay. Most of you have heard of this referred to as a rise over run type of deal. Okay, so we're looking at a fraction or a ratio of how fast a line rises in comparison to how fast it goes to the left or right. All right. So something that is fairly flat, like this, okay, as a slope is going from left to right, if it's going upward, it is a positive slope. And this slope is fairly flat. Usually fairly flat slopes are fractions. The steeper a line goes up, will determine if it's a fraction or this could be a whole number. Okay, and we're going to be exploring slope all this week. All right. A line that goes down from left to right, if it's fairly, first of all, if it goes down from left to right, this is a negative slope. If it's fairly flat, again, it is going to be a fraction. The steeper it goes down from left to right, if it's super steep, it's probably some sort of whole number. Or at least a number greater than 1. All right. We're going to look at only a few examples today because you guys have been plotting points for a while. So let's go ahead and look at the first example here. So I have 2 points here. I have 3, 4, and 2, 2. All right. And all I'm going to do is plot them. So let's start off with going ahead. I'm going to go ahead and list some hashtags here, even though I have a graph here. And it's not going to be perfect, right? So I want to plot my first point, 3, 4. So I go to 3 on the x-axis and up to 4 on the y-axis and put my first point. And then I have a point 2, 2, so 2 on the x, 2 on the y. And if I go ahead and connect those 2 points, I see that this is a really steep line. All right. Now, using the idea of rise over run, I'm going to count my x values and my y values. So as I rise from this point, I go up 1, whoops, I don't know what that is. I go up 1, 2. So I go up 2 to get even with the next point. My run, I go to the right 1. And I have a fraction of 2 over 1, which is nothing more than just 2. Right? So we're just counting going from one point to the other. Let's look at another way to look at this, because some of you will want to do something different. That's okay. So using the idea of rise over run, all right, I'm starting at this point and I'm going down 2. If I'm going down, you need to express that as a negative. And then I'm going to the left 1. Because I'm going negatively or going to the left, I have to express that as a negative. Now, a negative over a negative is a positive. Okay. And 2 over 1 is still just 2. So no matter which way I travel with this, I can go ahead and get the same value for my slope. Right? And because it's a steep slope, I'm expecting it to be a 2. Because it is going up from left to right, I'm expecting this slope to be a positive slope, so a positive number. So both of these totally make sense. Let's go ahead and look at another example. Right, so this one, I have a point, -2, -2. Let's put some hash marks in here. I don't want to put a whole lot. Right. And I have -2, -2, so to the left and down to -2. I should have another hash mark there, sorry. And I should have a point here. My next point is 0, 3, so 0, 1, 2, 3. Again, this appears to be a really steep line. Right? And then we're going to go ahead and count. So I'm going to use the idea of rise over run. And I'm rising up from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so up 5. And to the left, 1, 2. So my slope is 5 over 2. It is greater than 1. It's not an even number, right? But it is a fairly steep slope. Let's go ahead and look at one more here. So again, I'm going to put my hash marks in. All right. And I have 0, 0, so that's my origin. And I have -2, +3. I'm going to go ahead and connect it. Now this is the first time we've seen it go down. So this slope should have a negative sign to it. Let's look at rise over run. And we can look at it any way we want. I'm going to go from the origin. I'm going to go ahead and go to 1, 2, right? Because I'm going to the left, my run is -2. When I rise, I go 1, 2, 3, so +3. And my slope for here is -3 over 2. Still greater than 1, still pretty steep. Okay. Again, you can also, if you prefer, go ahead and start from this point here. Okay. And I can go 1, 2 to the right. So using rise over run. I went 2 to the right, but I'm going down 1, 2, 3. So that 3 is negative. I still end up with -3 over 2. So go ahead and experiment with this. You're going to have an assignment on this where you're just going to graph and count these. Remember, your fractions always must be in simplest form. So you can't have a fraction that's not in simplest form. If you can simplify it, you should be doing so. And I will go ahead and see you in the next video.